Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead. Well, I'm making spaghetti squash today. Okay, now I got this spaghetti squash at the IGA, and this is organic. Now, if I can just find my good knife, this one will do. I used to cut them this way. And now I've learned that we're going to cut it this way because there's a reason. I'm also not putting them in the oven. I'm putting them in my crock pot here. It's got about 2 inches of water in the bottom. So first things first, this is an organic. This is actually, I found, is easier for me to cut. And this is an organic spaghetti squash. And we're going to cut it that way. Just like that. And because it's an organic spaghetti squash, and because this year I planted pumpkins and butternut squash, next year I will plant zucchini and spaghetti squash. Now you're asking me why. Well, anybody who's planted squash knows that to a bee, a squash flower is a squash flower is a squash flower. They don't care if it's a winter squash or a summer squash. And one year I planted butternut squash and spaghetti squash in the same garden, and you guessed it, I had slightly orange spaghetti squash that didn't really come out in strands. And I had butternut squash that wasn't really firm and it was kind of stringy. So I'm now learning to alternate the years that I want to plant squash. But I'm going to save these. Like I said, I bought organic. So next year I'll be planting these and zucchinis. Here we go. You don't want to dig down too deep. You just want to get the stringy stuff out, but you don't want to lose. You don't want to be digging into your pumpkin, your squash flesh, right? Now, I've discovered that the new crock pot that I got from Walmart gets really quick, gets really hot, even on low. So I'm just going to put these in here. It is 4:45. We're going to have supper in about an hour. I'm just going to put these in upside down. The water serves two purposes. It steams your squash, and it also stops them from scorching. These are going in the crock pot on high for about an hour. I think our spaghetti squash is done, so I'm going to shut it off. Oh yeah, see, I can push my finger in, but it doesn't collapse it perfect. So I'm just going to shut this off, and I'm going to take these over to the cutting board one at a time. And these are hot. So we're just going to let them rest for about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, just to let them cool down enough that I can handle them. In the meantime, let's make the sauce. Here's our skillet. Once again, let's do just a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Now you saw me use this stuff for breakfast in the sunrise skillet. I just kept the remnants for this. Okay. Make sure there's no labels on them. So we're going to use up our extra veg. Okay, where's my big knife? My big knife is in the dishwasher. Okay, so we're going to just use this paring knife. And drop them in the strainer because I always wash my produce. Always. Now, we all know how he likes slices of peppers. Slice these all up. Into the strainer they go. And save some of the celery for another meal, but we'll get our crunch on with this. Let's rinse those. And yeah, that's what we want to hear. Just going to get our veg going in there. We'll drop our mushrooms in there. Let's get these snap crackling and popping. Now this is cooling down almost enough to handle. Let me see. If I've done my job properly, this is why I bake them this way now and with water. If I've done my job properly, I should be able to just go around here with the fork. You want it to have a bit of give. You get back here, and I'm just gonna, well, I overcooked it maybe a bit, but you just want to start twisting it away. Yeah, this is slightly overcooked. So, but you know what? We're going to deal with it this way anyway. Oh well, this is a working kitchen, not a studio kitchen. We deal with what mistakes are made. Let that cool down just a little bit more. And now, I am going to take, you know what, I'm not going to use spaghetti sauce at all. This is mushy, like this is watery enough. So I'm just going to dump my meatballs and mushrooms in there. I'm just going to throw some flour all over this. Some garlic. And let's just make this into a gravy, shall we? Probably going to be lumpy gravy because I should have mixed that cold broth. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now we'll turn this right down. Oh, that smells so good. Yes, weep, weep, weep. And we'll be back when Papa's home for supper.
I'm bitching about it.
Huh?
I'm bitching about nothing. Just feed me.
Feed you.
Yeah,
All right, well, that's spaghetti squash, and I overcooked it. It's a little bit juicy.
It don't look like spaghetti.
I know, it doesn't.
It's like squash.
I overcooked it. I'm sorry. Are you picking on it? All right, but instead of spaghetti sauce, we have meatballs and pepper gravy, like meatballs and veg gravy. So I assume you're going to want me to just pile that on there, right?
Well, I'll let you know what it tastes like.
A little bit of Parmesan.
Sure.
Grab it.
It's gone.
Well, we're almost out. It's time to trip to Costco. All right, hungry man.
Good.
Oh, that's a surprise. Thank you, dear. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying just because it says it's a spaghetti squash doesn't mean you have to put spaghetti sauce on it. Take care. God bless.